I'm back again. You guys getting tired of hearing my voice? I hope not. I do know I sure miss seeing all you guys. You guys get to see me, but I don't get to see you. I hope you're doing well. I miss you all. Everybody out there on the floor misses you guys. But now, back to business. So today, we always talk about safety here at work and all the important things here at work. And a lot of the safety rules at work also go along at home. So I thought since you guys have been spending a little bit more time at home, maybe I'd talk about a few safety tips for at home, okay? So today we're gonna do home safety. Let's get going. So home safety, what we wanna do there. We want to prevent unintentional injuries that occur in or around the home. They can include getting burned, maybe falling, and unfortunately some people have swimming pools, drowning, poisoning. And by poisoning, somebody gets a hold of household cleaners, maybe somebody takes somebody else's medications, and then sometimes there's even animal bites. There is no way I can go over all the safety things at home. I'm sure your parents, your guardians, your loved ones, your family, your staff, they kind of go over all the safety stuff. I'm sure you guys have a plan when you go out if there's a fire, just like all the stuff we do here. I'm sure there's things you guys do at home. So I'm just gonna go over a few things, okay? So let's get going, but just remember, there's way more safety concerns and issues at home. So you need to be safe and take care of yourself. Be smart, okay guys? Let's get going. Kind of jumped ahead of myself. Didn't realize that's what was on my next slide I made. So today we're going to talk about things we can do or we shouldn't do at home to stay safe. So some ideas to keep us safe and some things that nope, we don't want to do that because that's not safe. Now, like I said, there's way more things that I'm going to cover on this list today. And we're just going to talk about a few safety tips, okay? So, kind of repeat myself, apologize. But let's get started with our few safety tips for at home.
103.
Cleaning supplies. Tip number 1. All those things we clean with and disinfect with. Keep our house smelling good and clean. I know everybody's got those at their house. Everybody wants to keep a clean house, right? They should all be stored away. A lot of people have one certain cabinet they put all their stuff in. Everything's put away until you use it. It's not everywhere. In a spot in your home, whoops, typo, sorry. You don't want to drink or eat any of these items. Any of these cleaning stuff, never put it in your mouth. Don't suck on it, don't do it. Even if they kind of look real pretty colored, or maybe they smell really good. Some cleaning products have that fragrance in them to help your house smell good. And you might think that, that smells like oranges. Let me taste it. Maybe it tastes like orange juice. No, never drink or eat or put any of that stuff by your mouth, okay? Better yet, just leave them be. If you don't want to get them because you don't want to get them into your eyes and your nose, you don't want to be messing with them. Now, if you need to spray something on a rag to clean, if you're in charge of cleaning and you got supervision, then sure, you can use them. But we just don't want to be in there playing with them, mixing them up and splashing them around because you can get them in your eyes. That's a lot of times while here at work when people are using some solutions, you got to wear the goggles and everything. So, and if you're not responsible for cleaning something, you just leave the cleaning stuff alone, okay? Tip number 2, medicine cabinets and medications, anything like that. This is something else you want to leave alone. A lot of you have family members or staff that might help you with your medicine. My puppy dogs are on medicine. I help them with their medicines. You might have someone that kind of helps you out. We never want to take somebody else's medication. Never want to take somebody else's. Their doctor is giving it to them for a certain reason. So you don't want to take it because what might work for them might make you sick. Never take somebody else's medicine. So if you take medications of your own, only take what the doctor advises and at the times he says. Sometimes the doctor might give you medicine for something you need, and he says just one pill. Don't take two thinking it'll fix it faster or you'll feel better faster. Stick with just the one. All these medicines have certain things that happen in our body, and if we take too many, too close together, it could really hurt us instead of making us feel better. An example of this, because I don't have kids, my puppy dogs are my kids, my fur babies. I have a really big dog who's 85 pounds, and he has a medicine that he takes. And one day, when I was giving it to him, it fell on the floor. And my little bitty chihuahua, who's real little, snuck in there and ate it. I had to take my chihuahua to the vet immediately. He got super sick. They almost didn't think he'd make it because he got so sick, because he took his brother's medicine. He took the wrong medicine. So only take what the doctor tells you to take, okay? Take somebody else's, you could get really sick. I know that's a puppy dog versus a human, but it works the same way, okay? You take somebody else's medicine, it could make you sick, so stick to your medicine, the dose, and the time your doctor says for you to take it, okay? Kind of cut off the first line, but this is tip number 3, kitchen safety. I believe from what I was looking at that most accidents that happen in homes happen in this room. The kitchen is kind of, I guess, the most dangerous room in the house, because this is where a lot of stuff goes on. This is where you got your stove, where you got your knives. So we want to be careful and be aware of sharp objects in the kitchen. That's all the knives and the things we use to cut and cook with. They could be sharp. Because you don't want to hurt yourself, and you don't want to be holding the knife and being goofy with it and cutting a family member or a friend, hurt a friend or a family member. Like I said, not only the sharp objects, there's the hot stove, there's the hot oven. If you spill something on the floor, it tends to get slippery, you might fall. Make coffee, there's hot water. The sink, if you turn on the hot water by itself, that's going to be hot. You got the toaster, the microwaves. There's just so many things in the kitchen that you need to make sure you know how to work properly and how to do things so that you don't get hurt. If you need help, have someone show you, because I want you guys to stay safe. It just seems like there's so many things that could happen in a kitchen that you need to be careful in there, okay? There's just no way I can name all the possibilities of things that someone can get hurt in the kitchen. So please don't be teasing and goofing around the kitchen, because that's kind of a spot that a lot of things can happen, okay? Number 4, this is a big one too, because you guys might help out at home doing some things, even just drying your hair, or maybe you have an electric toothbrush you have to charge up. Vacuuming, a lot of people I know help out at home by vacuuming. Maybe you need to plug in a light so you can see, or your radio so you can listen to music. These are all, you use the outlets in the cord. So let's read about that. Safe use of plugs when inserting or detaching the plug and cord of an appliance into an electrical outlet. Be sure to hold the base of the plug securely. So that means the base of the plug, you want to hold that when you're plugging it in or pulling it out. You don't want to grab the cord and pull it out by the cord, okay? Don't just pull the cord when you want to unplug it from the outlet, because that may cause damage. Tugging cords from a distance, or maybe at an angle, like if you're standing up and it's down low and you don't want to bend over and you try pulling it, can break the wires, and the plugs can be bent. The things that go into the outlet, those plugs can get bent. But the outlet itself can be harmed. Even with an electrical system that complies with all the safety standards, it is most important to never touch electrical outlets with wet hands. So even if your house is perfectly safe, you've had it inspected, and it's all good, do not touch outlets or plugs with wet hands. Water and electricity do not go together. So if you do have to unplug something, make sure you have dry hands and you take it by the plug. Water is a conductor and increases the likelihood of electrocution. So you can get shocked, electrocuted if you touch a plug with wet hands. Electrical outlets in children every year. Many are injured when they, let's see what the next slide says. So a lot of kids are injured with plugs and stuff when they do this. Let's see what it is. When they innocently insert inappropriate objects into the power outlets. So that means kids, maybe they're just a little curious. Maybe you get curious. I'm not calling you guys children, but maybe you get curious and you stick something in a plug that shouldn't. That's when you can get hurt. We don't play around with electrical outlets. Electricity is very scary. You got to make sure, just don't mess with outlets. Plain and simple. Homeowners with children should cover unused electrical outlets with child safety, plastic safety plugs, or other products designed to help protect babies from incidents. I'm sure you guys all have family members or friends that have had babies, and you've been to their house and you see those little plastic cups, those little plastic plugs around it. Heck, you might even have them at your house just for an extra safety thing. I have some at my house. I don't think my dogs would ever lick an outlet, but I cover it up just to be safe.
Dial 100, please. Ashley 100.
I have those plugs in some of my lower outlets so my dogs don't get curious, because a puppy dog licking it, that's wetness in that outlet. Ooh, that could be bad. So, remember, when you plug something in, you use the plug to plug it in. If you're going to unplug it, we do not pull. Right here's the the cord. Comes down here, and he's got the plug in, and he's pulling on it. That's not how we unplug things. Never touch electrical equipment with wet hands. See this guy? He's wanting to plug in the toaster to make some toast, but his hands are all wet. That's a no-no. Never with wet hands. Then this one here, this little guy is putting his finger in the outlet, and it's electrocuting him, it's shocking him. So these are basic important electrical outlet rules. I wouldn't mess with them, okay? Bad news. Let's see what, all right, I think we got one more tip. Okay, we're into the living room of our house now. Like I said, we're not covering every room of our house, everything that could, have safety issues, just the basics here. Believe it or not, TVs are a frequent cause of injuries. TVs! You guys are probably like, how can a TV hurt you, right? I'm going to tell you. The scenario is simple enough. Someone reaches up to a TV sitting on a cart. Maybe you've got it on a cart or an entertainment center, especially those flat ones now that a lot of people have them hanging on the wall. But if they're sitting on something, or it's on a flimsy table and you pull it over, somebody might be climbing, like maybe the TV's on the shelf and I want to get something that's over it, and I reach and I grab the TV and I end up pulling it and then it falls on top of me, okay? That could happen, and that's what happens a lot of times, more so with little kids, is they're trying to climb on something, they grab the TV and they pull the TV and it lands on top of them. But an adult could do it. It's just, you gotta be smart around these things. Your best bet is to put the television on a low, stable piece of furniture, far back against the wall as possible, or now a lot of times they're just mounted straight on the wall. Another thing is sometimes people have real nice furniture, breakable glass tops furnitures. That's not really a good idea to have if you have little kids. Or maybe somebody that, some of you guys, your gait's not so good, you might use a walker or something, or a cane to help you kind of get around. Or even just, you take smaller steps. You don't want to trip and fall on that glass table. That could hurt you. Long time ago, probably about, 20 years ago, I guess, I had a coffee table that was all wooden, but on the top,
Karen Nelson, call station 103, Karen Nelson, 103, please.
There was a piece of glass that laid right on top of it. So when I'd have to clean it, I'd have to take the glass out, clean underneath, and I would set the glass real nice and securely, like on my couch or something. Well, one time, I leaned it up against something. My dog come running through, hit it, it fell over and shattered, and he ended up cutting his paw because he got a piece of glass. So maybe even glass top tables and stuff, you don't have kids, but you have a puppy dog, a little rambunctious dog. That may not be safe. Kids and adults, because I have a friend that did it, pull over tall furniture, especially bookcases. Furniture is even more dangerous if it sits partially on a rug or is on an uneven floor. Ankle unstable furniture to the wall. So my one friend, she's a little bit shorter than me, she had a bookcase and she was trying to get to a book that was on the very top shelf. And she went to stand on it, and she was standing like on the bottom shelf, and when she was all the way up like this, luckily she was able to jump out of the way, but the bookshelf all fell down. She could have gotten smashed by her bookshelf. So needless to say, she had another friend come over and we bolted that shelf to the wall so that wouldn't happen again. Let's see what else the living room has to offer here. This next one might be directed a little bit more towards kids, but hey, I'm a big kid at heart. I'm guilty of it, being goofy and jumping on the couch. Fall over, fall off, hit your head. You don't want me jumping on stuff like that. Fireplace pose a number of hazards. The tools that you use can, like, if people get up there and aren't careful, they smash their fingers. I had a log remover, you go like that, you got your fingers the wrong way, you can smash your fingers. Other tools can crush or injure your eyes. Keep these in the fireplace matches out of reach. You don't want people to be messing with them. You want to put them nice and safely. Again, you might have family members or friends that come over to have little kids, or somebody that you just don't want them to be able to get into that stuff. This is important. Never leave a young child in the room if there's a fireplace or if the fire's still hot, okay? Fireplaces may have doors, but these doors that open can get hot too. So it probably needs a screen too, okay? You want to put that on the outside, the screen too. So, this is our living room fun facts, safety tips. Be careful of your TVs so you don't pull them over. Make sure they're mounted or put on something really good and sturdy. Bookshelves, make sure shelvings or anything like that are mounted to the wall so nobody can climb on them and pull them over. No jumping on the furniture probably. You can fall off, get hurt, wrestle around on it, fall off, get hurt. And then another little thing is just fireplaces. Make sure it's all closed off and you got a screen around it and you don't let people play around the fireplace, okay? Again, these are just some few tips I wanted to give you guys about home safety. Not everything. I'd be here for hours trying to do everything. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Wait, stop. Don't go nowhere. Guess what? I made another mistake. My mind is not going. I still have 2 more slides on home safety. We're going to finish up home safety. I'm a knucklehead. Let's finish it up, guys. Number 6. How many of you have a front door? I do. Maybe and someone comes over to see you. Somebody's knocking at your door. Do you just open it all willy-nilly? Let's find out. Ask yourself who could be knocking on your door. Try to remember if your friends or family were scheduled to stop by. Do you remember inviting somebody over and, oh yeah, that's who's knocking at my door? Look through the peephole if you have one. There's a little hole in the door. You can look outside to see who's out there. If you don't have that, you might want to peek and see if you know who's out there. You want to try to get a glimpse of whoever's knocking at your door. If you don't recognize the person on the other side of the door, do not open it yet. Don't open it if you don't know who it is. Ask who's there. If you don't recognize the person knocking on your door, or you don't have a peephole and you can't see them through a window, ask them who it is. Stand close to the door so you can hear their response clearly. If you don't recognize their voice, or you're still just not sure who they are, after they tell you, don't open the door. Ignore them if you don't know who it is. You're not safe. You don't want to let a stranger in your house not know who they are. Don't answer the door unless you're confident the person on the other side is who they say they are. If you're not sure, ignore the knocking until the person leaves. Don't worry if you accidentally ignore, hang on. Don't worry if you accidentally ignore a friend or a neighbor, because you know what, they're your friend, they're your neighbor, they're going to understand if you don't open the door because you're being safe. But if it's someone you know that needs to get in touch with you, they'll call you on the phone. Call the police if that person just keeps knocking and knocking and knocking and maybe starts yelling. If you start feeling uncomfortable and not safe, you want to call the police. If the knocking persists or you feel like you're in danger, call the police. Open the door once you're confident. That means you're 100% sure it's safe. You know that person. Maybe you live on your own and you look through the peephole, or you live in a house that maybe staff helps you. Doorbell rings and you recognize it's a staff person that's coming on for their shift. You could open the door for them. Look out, maybe you see it's a family member that's coming to visit. You can open the door for them. If you determine the person outside doesn't have a reason for being there, go ahead, or has a valid reason, like you knew your sister was coming to visit, and there she is, open the door, let them in if they need to come inside. Turning a lock on a door is a quick and easy step to protect your home, especially at night. So it's time to go to bed. Everybody's going to bed. You want to make sure you hit that lock on the front door. This includes all the doors and all the windows. Not only do you want to make sure you lock the front door, you want to lock the back door. I do it every night. I make sure my back door's locked and my front door. I have my windows locked right now. They're not open because of the summertime, the air conditioning. But I make sure my doors are all locked so nobody can come in while I'm sleeping. Okay, this time, this was the last slide. So we talked about not opening the door for strangers, making sure you know who they are, looking through the peephole, maybe looking through the window so you can make sure you know who they are and you feel safe letting them in. If you don't know who they are, you don't feel safe, don't let them in. If it's somebody that really needs to get a hold of you, they'll call you and let you know. Maybe you know that you have a guy coming to fix your dishwasher, and you know the company he's coming from. He's supposed to be there at 10 o'clock. And a gentleman knocks on the door, you look out, and he's got his name tag, and it's from that company. He's got a company truck out there. I feel pretty safe letting him in, because I made this appointment for him to come to my house. But if it was just my average day Saturday and this guy showed up at my house, I wouldn't let him in because I have no idea who he is. If you're concerned or you don't feel safe, you can always call the police. Or, like I said, if you're not sure who they are, they'll call you on the phone so you can let them in, okay? And then at night, we always want to lock our doors before we go to bed. So we're nice and locked and secure in our house, okay? That is our home safety, I promise. Now, you guys have a great day, okay?